Hey there, Goa fans. This is Mark DJ Solitaire here with episode 149 of Retro Goa Explorations, my weekly series in which I share in each episode one of my favorite tracks from the 1990s Goa Trance psychedelic dance movement. So, amazing that we can get to episode 149 and it's the first time to share a track by a certain project. But of course, it also makes sense since I'm working relatively chronologically with these projects, and new projects were coming into the scene. Although this is one that I had heard of, I think, in '97 with their first track that circulated on DAT. Popular one amongst DAT trading circles for sure, because it is a real killer, but that's not the one I'm featuring. So, little background story as I talk about a project whose only album came out in 1999, which is part of the scope that we're looking at this current phase in this series from the latter part of 98 through to the summer of 99. And this is Children of Paradise, known as COP. A phenomenal project made up of one half of Extreme, Jan Müller, and the three members of a French project, Ganguru, who was really well known in the music trading circles because they didn't release a whole lot of music, but they produced a ton. So three musicians there, Phil Weiss, Pierre Branet, and Willy Boudron. And so in 97, from 97 to 99, Jan was from Extreme, was spending quite a bit of time in Paris and was looking to make music. And he was introduced to the Ganguru guys by Chris Novaks. And so the first track that they made is the one that I remember very clearly getting on DAT and that everybody loved, Fairy in the Dragon Forest. And everyone's like, who is this, right? Because not everybody knew who the music was, but we could tell this is top notch. And, four top notch musicians with that, extreme punch that we were all used to and loving back then. Uh, Now, the name of the project I should highlight is named after Michel Carnet's 1945 movie, Les Enfants du Paradis, which is Children of Paradise. So I had a couple of other tracks from them before this album came out. One of them, at least, I'll feature, and I'll probably, go back in time even more than I am now from our current trajectory and probably do Fairy in the Dragon Forest. But when this showed up, I remember it was the first part of 99. I had a few of the tracks from here already, but it was a revelation because really we're talking like top-notch production and also just the sonic framework of this stuff is just absolutely incredible. As we expect from Extreme. And if you listen to Ganguru, which you can do now that three CDs of unpublished material made it onto the DAT label. I mean, incredible stuff. And there's more. I mean, they were really prolific and super creative musicians. So, you get these four musical minds in a studio together at this heyday of, of the trance scene, and some amazing stuff happened. So everything that I've heard is absolutely killer. And I really remember the impression that this particular track on the CD made instantly from the first notes and the atmosphere and musical and melodic content, especially. And this is Bloodsuckers. Interesting title. I didn't find out, any inspiration, but I can tell you that, at this point in the scene, I was beginning to see, there's a little bit of some energy vampire kind of stuff going on. It was a bit disappointing. And so, you talk about somebody who drains your energy as being a bloodsucker. So whether this is the case or not doesn't matter. Uh, not everybody pays too much attention to the titles, but I'll tell you, as a track, This is jaw-dropping. It is 10 minutes long, and it is phenomenal in every way. So, I'll have lots that I can say as we're listening to it. So we should probably just get started with that. So let's listen now to phenomenal track, incredible production and musical content by Children of Paradise, Bloodsuckers. Okay, I mean, just the relationship between these notes. And then that bass line coming in. Oh, right now it's still just those two. And then it's going to expand. I mean, what is that? So it's like this clarion call, right? So now we had an extra note added there. Then there's 3 notes. I mean, just these tone relationships, right? Absolutely magic. And then that bass line. Full power, right? So all these different frequency levels filling in. And then the kick comes in there. A little ahead of schedule, it seems. And those sort of airbrushy kind of little aerated hi-hat simulating stuff. And there's that. Listen to the rhythm of it, as well as the sound. And it's just absolutely hypnotic, right? I mean, the notes that they choose, and then just that repetition. So really trance-inducing. It's like, how many times has this gone on? Some of those voices. Oh, now there's a change. Like an extra beat there as well before the break. That non-stop chugga-chugga. And again, just that simple one-note mantra like, then what the heck is that? Like helicopter about to take off. And again, everything sounds like voices, right? Just listening to all the stuff that's going on. And then this really unbelievable riff. And there's going to be something incredible coming in above this. I mean, this is just like a whole other musical dimension. Cool little break while that regular rhythm continues, and these other not yet. You never know when the break is going to come. This is what was so exciting about the music then. You think you can't get any higher, and then you do. And again, it's all voices. almost sounds like rap. It's absolutely incredible. Now the extra rhythmic bit that just came in. Now there's this very important voice coming in that's really got a lot of anguish and lament. Beautiful intervals. And all the different sounds. Can we get that one again? And on a big system, so there's more dramatic exclamation happening. Really driving the point home. Just another line came in the background again that we'd heard before. Some extra little upper frequency stuff there. That. Amazing. Just keeps going. Still. Very cool. We get that kind of, again, groovy chugga-chugga rhythm happening. Little shift in direction after all the deep anguish stuff that came before. And there's more of everything coming. And again, that crunchy little voice. It's getting a bit louder now. Another little bit came in there. Very interesting pause here. That. I talk about just clearing space. Some of the subtle stuff going on in the background. It's a little undulating. That bass line kicks in. Wow. So again, just the way that mantra repeats and then the kick comes in and it repeats is just really, getting that message through. Put a little granular sound in there. And then we're back to this bit. And the one out, just that one little mantra thing with the voices behind. These unbelievable sounds. And just the shaping and the way it just sounds like this conversation. Really alien transmission. It really sounds like a whole other sound world. And then it's done. I mean, pretty interesting structure there. I mean, really long, these long protracted sections, and then that fascinating, space clearing area, and then, the way the things come back and forth. The break wasn't as massive in a sense, but in some ways that can really hit harder. Right. So there's something to that slight restraint where it's not all, big drum rolls and kicks and explosions and so on. It hits through the content. Very surprising ending. Not an easy track to mix in or out of, right? I mean, musically, harmonically, texturally, structurally, in all these ways. It's a pretty unique production, right? I'm not just talking about engineering production. I'm talking about like the whole, gestalt of this whole thing. Absolutely unbelievable. I remember that, it's an incredible CD with like a lot of great tracks. I remember Alienation was, of course, really huge. El Nino, I remember on DAT beforehand. Fearing the Dragon Forest is there. There's a few different mixes of that one. And of course, one there, but other ones in some people's grubby little hands. And but this immediately just drew my attention because of this, really otherworldly harmonic language, and as well as the sounds that were being used being so refined, so creative, and that mantra-like repetition, just very hypnotic. Hadn't heard this in quite a while. How things go in terms of, what we remember and what we listen to regularly and what we go back to. And I was like really glad to go back to this, and, into the folder it goes. Who knows when that might show up in a set, but just wonderful to revisit. Super incredible creation by Children of Paradise, Jan Muller from Extreme, and the three fellas from Ganguru. So hats off, gentlemen. And I will sign off here and leave you now with the whole track without any commentary. I'm Mark DJ Solitaire, wrapping up episode 149 of Retro Goa Explorations, and leaving you now with Children of Paradise's absolutely earth-shattering Bloodsuckers.